Hey, are you ready for our bullish talk show? We got guests for days, on 2 in a row. The biggest names in the DeFi space, black, white and yellow, guests from every race. So hands off your dick, it's now your real look. We're talking crypto daily with a big full duck, big duck energy. Let's make fast, come chill with us here on the Pondcast.
Yo, how's it going? It is Easy Zabo here for another week of the Pondcast. This is episode 2 of our weekly Pondcast spaces where we meet with some of the most influential and strongest figures in the crypto space. This week, we are featuring a gentleman by the name of the Professor, who is one of the crypto OGs. He's been here for multiple cycles. The project that he's working with is a project called The Lab. And The Lab has got some amazing things going on in the crypto space. So we are just absolutely excited to have you here alongside Doug the Duck. The Professor, how's it going, my man?
How is it going? Easy Zabo, really appreciate you. First, want to give a shout out to Doug the Duck. I think what you're building is really cool. Getting to know you and your team, just a lot of innovative strategies, and doing this, just streaming across multiple platforms, like definitely different from, what we typically see. So, super bullish on Doug the Duck and what you're building, and look forward to diving more into our project and what we have cooking over here.
Beautiful, man. Yeah. So I always like to start this space with, the spotlight being our daily speaker and stuff. It's a lot of the people that are here listening and stuff. We like to spend some time on Doug the Duck towards the latter half. If you're here and you're new to the space or you're a supporter of the lab, we'll tell you about Doug in due time. But I'm really interested in, of course, listening to our host speaker and hearing a little bit about what makes him different, what makes him special. So, Professor, I'd love if you just told us a little bit about yourself, man. How many years have you been in crypto? How did you get into crypto? And, what are you currently working on right now?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So I've been in crypto since 2017. Like the catalyst to joining, like many, is, you see the headlines long enough of crypto being the new next wave of innovation. And actually, I was at one point in time, I was an XRP maxi. I was only invested in XRP.
God help you.
Yes. Thankfully, I am no longer invested in XRP.
Well, if you invested $10,000 in XRP about 4 years ago, you would have $10,000 today. So probably a good choice to get out.
Yeah. So yeah, I just started, dabbling after the whole XRP journey into, a lot of blue chips. And then, it was around the 2021 bull cycle that, you started seeing like Doge and SHIB just absolutely like take off. Obviously, that became its own meta where it's like, holy crap, like meme coins truly are the way to generational wealth. I feel like that's the feeling people got, during that Doge SHIB cycle call. And so, how I always felt the market would evolve was the next cycle that occurred, everybody would remember what happened with Doge and SHIB. And obviously, there were several others that did extremely well, like multi-billion-dollar market caps. And I think the next cycle, and this is where we're at, right now, people would, think the same thing, but there'd be more of an influx of investors looking for that next, call it big hit, to hit that Doge or SHIB type token. So, I started investing heavily early in the Solana ecosystem, really before the whole meme coin meta took off, and, got into several blue chips early. And from that point in time, I started just really diversifying, like where is my focus going to be, like where the opportunities are. As purely an investor, I had zero intention of launching a project. until I came across a site called Pump Fun. So Pump Fun really was the main reason I ended up launching Lab, because, like a lot of investors, when you see Pump Fun, you see all the tokens coming out, it's, there's some excitement around it. It's like, wow, this is new, and anyone can create a meme coin around anything, and wow, you can get in so early. Like, I'm sure a lot of people have had those same thoughts. And then I started investing in, it's called Pump Fun tokens. And what I quickly realized is that every project that I invested in was a scam. I got rug pulled literally every single time. And the catalyst to me launching Lab was, if it wasn't a thought out, like long-term like vision or anything like that. It was more, I'm so pissed off at, just losing this money from, investing in projects that I truly believed in. And I said, I just can do this so much better than what these other projects are doing. So I on a whim, it was like, I think it was like a Wednesday night, like 11 p.m. I told literally nobody. And of course I had like my network of DGen friends. Like that goes to show, like, I really didn't think anything would come out of this. I launched the Lab on Pump Fun. And next thing I know, I check, 2 hours later and we're on Radium. And then it just, that
self-launch, baby.
Yeah, that was the start of this entire journey over the last, I look back today, it's been 5 months and 15 days, which is crazy to think about. And just to give you some framework on the initial concept of the Lab, because, I'm not your traditional OG dev. At that time, I was just an investor that launched a meme coin token to see what happens. And the concept of the Lab was very, very simple, but I think very powerful at the same time. And what that concept was we're launching the Lab. I'm the professor. You, as a community member, you're one of our base scientists. And I was just very transparent from the beginning. Pretty much, I have no idea what I'm doing to grow this project. So I want you, community of scientists, to tell me exactly what I need to do to grow the Lab as quickly as possible. And that's where it started. So as simple as it sounds, I think the reason why it really caught traction was, one, the transparency aspect. But two, I think one of the most important things that any project can do is listen to their community. And when you're crowdsourcing this DGen knowledge, like, eventually I think you will be successful if you're just listening to the community and following a roadmap based off collective thought, call it a hive mind of ideas. And then within that, around a 2-month period, we went from, this less than $5 Pump Fun token to a 28 million market cap. That was our all-time high. And, we've ridden these waves as like mass, like euphoria. Then, of course, like with a parabolic pump like that, we saw a consistent downtrend over time with people selling. And that's where we had to really reinvent ourselves. Like, where are we going with this? We just don't want to be a meme coin. And that's where MemeTrust started evolving several months ago. And that's where we're at today.
That's amazing, man. You brought up a couple different points there. I had no clue that you guys were a Pump Fun coin. Something I think that's really interesting is that, like, I believe out of all of the Pump Fun coins that end up getting listed, less than like 0.01% of them end up making it to Radium. And then of that 0.01%, like less than a tenth of those even make it to above a $1 million market.
I don't know if you can hear me, but it's breaking up pretty bad on my end, at least.
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you just fine. If you need to maybe like reset the room, or potentially, I think it might work a little bit on your end, but are you hearing me coming in?
It's really hard to hear you, man. I don't know if it's just me. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you okay. Sometimes you get a little bit of technical difficulties, man. So we kind of had this maybe happen a little bit, last time with Streamlabs. But if you want to like maybe leave and rejoin, sometimes that ends up solving the problem.
Okay. I think I caught some of that. I'm just going to try to like restart this and jump right back on.
Perfect. Right. Yeah. Awesome. So while he is away, we can take a look a little bit at the Lab charts. And, Lab was very closely launched right around the same, was actually launched about a month sooner than us. Lab was launched on, I want to say April 26th is when it hit Radium. And then from there, they skyrocketed up to about a $3.8 million market cap, consolidated. And then right around the same time that we went through our pump from $1 million up to $6 million market cap, they jumped from $2.5 million market cap up to a market cap of 28 million, and they've been consolidating ever since. But what we're seeing right now is we're seeing them start to finally break out of this downtrend. I think you guys started hitting the floor of right around 1.1 million, which is right around the same floor that we had. And looks like you guys are up almost 40% here today at a nice, cool, breezy $1.8 million market cap. And then also, I absolutely appreciate that you guys have upwards of $225,000 in liquidity. So the liquidity of this project is very strong as well. So kudos to you guys, because it looks like you're starting to turn things around a little bit.
Yeah, appreciate it. I can hear you perfectly now. I'm not sure what was going on there. Just to make sure you can hear me okay?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect.
And a lot of people were saying in the comments, too, that they were hearing you just fine, too. So I think that there was just maybe a little bit of a disconnect on your end. So I think the reset helped.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, appreciate the overview on the chart. And it's been the things that we've been through. I think eventually, like most memecoin projects, will go through that. You have like these oftentimes like gigapumps call it, and then you have this retrace. And because you're especially you have a lot of newer like memecoin project founders, like you're not prepared for those gigapumps, and it's like, oh shit, like what now? So I think we've learned a lot, and we can share a lot of that knowledge, just to help better prepare other projects or other founders, that are going through the same thing or eventually will go through, that same period, especially when I think we hit call it the peak bull run here, and hopefully the near future. We'll see.
I think it's amazing. I think once again, the context behind Lab and, just the reason that you started Lab was obviously because there was so much pump and dump on within the pump.fun space. And I think that has been really detrimental to the Solana space. I don't think that pump.fun has necessarily been good for the overall Solana space. I think it's led to a lot of congestion. And like you said, there's a lot of projects that are just scams there and liquidity suckers, and it's nice to finally see that like a good project and an honest developer made it past the bonding curve and into Radium, and ultimately had great success. I mean, what is your opinion of the pump.fun initiative?
I mean, at its core, like obviously the Pump Fun is an innovative concept. I think it's the start of a new generation of meme coins, first and foremost, where right now we're talking about Pump Fun, but certainly, I mean, it's already happening where, you have Moonshot and several others where anyone can launch a token with basically no money. So it's like a paradigm shift in meme coins, and I don't think we're going back. If anything, what's going to accelerate is the amount of scams, the amount of manipulation that occurs, and also the symptom of that is the difficulty for investors to then find projects that are legitimate. A lot of people look at Pump Fun as almost like its own casino of sorts. You can hit big and win big, essentially, if you get the right token. But anybody here that has invested in Pump Fun tokens, and probably a lot of you have, exactly what happens there. You're going to get screwed over. It's not a good feeling. So because of the trends that we're seeing, this all ties into just my thought process into really what is the utility that the lab can build collectively, the utility that adds the most value to the ecosystem. And that's this concept of MemeTrust. And we can get into, what we're building here, of course, throughout the podcast. But at a high level, like what I feel is most needed in this space is solving the biggest problem that exists, which in my opinion and many other people's opinion is, who do you trust? It is one of the most important questions that anybody will ask if you've been in the ecosystem, whether you're a dev or whether you're an investor. You have no idea who you can trust, because obviously we're in Web3. pretty much everything's anonymous, and the likelihood of you knowing who a dev is near 0%. Obviously there's some known ones, but overall, out of tens of millions of projects, you have no idea who's running those projects. So you're literally investing in projects based off either like a KOL shill or just pure gambling. Like, I have no idea if this has worked, and you're almost expecting to get rubbed. So if we can become the source of vetting projects and the source of trust within the ecosystem for both investors and devs looking to grow, I think it's one of the most powerful things that we can build and that the ecosystem needs. And that's my overall thoughts on that, Easy.
Right. And I mean, that's ultimately where MemeTrust came in, right? MemeTrust is the thought process that you're trying to build this collaboration of honest developers and honest projects that are truly trying to work for their investors and are not just looking to rug. So where did you come up with the concept for MemeTrust? And ultimately, what is your criteria for selecting projects?
Yeah, great question. So the idea for MemeTrust, it really was, it's not like it was a clear picture at first. It was a lot of iterations of the thought process, looking at it to determine, like, really, how do you fix this problem? Because it starts with the problem. And then the way that I've always looked at it is, and how I've just built things, throughout my life, like entrepreneurially, is what have I experienced that was just such a pain in the ass or a really big problem, where I know that pretty much everybody else going through the same thing is experiencing those same problems. So if you look at my own experience as a dev, the way that I've built MemeTrust and just the vision for MemeTrust was really based off the premise of, what would I want to see if it was day one, I launched Lab? What type of either entity or platform would I want to be a part of to help me grow the project? And fully well, if you launch a project today, you're going to get inundated with hundreds of messages, DMs from all these people saying they can help you. You're going to get KOLs reaching out to you. You have your community members left and right saying, do this, do that. You really don't have the connections at that point either with other projects that have been through this, very complex period, especially in the first couple of days of launching a project. Like, there's really no guidance that you have. So all these problems that you see when you launch a token, given the fact that there's literally right now zero barrier to entry to launching a memecoin project, how many people like me in the future or right now want to launch a memecoin project that actually want to build something? I think there's actually a larger percentage of people like me and like the devs that dug the duck, that actually want to build something special and are not here just to, take as much money as possible from the launch of their token. And a side of that is, if you look at all the scammers, like it's being exposed, like it's just like cabals of scammers almost, where they're the ones just pumping out all these scam tokens. So it supersedes, I think, a lot of the actual good actors in the space. So, one thing that is one of the core goals of MemeTrust is we want to build the largest network of trusted projects within the Solana ecosystem, and we all help each other collectively grow. And that also ties into the fact that we live in the memecoin space, this PvP. It's my project. I have the information. I know what works to grow the project. I'm not sharing it with anybody. MemeTrust is the complete opposite. We are a collective. We are a collective of trusted projects all working to share resources and collectively grow together. And we can get into some details on how we're doing that. But to answer your question on, how we actually are going to be vetting these projects, because that's obviously an important piece of it. So we actually announced a partnership with Solana ID. So Solana ID is, a lot of people don't know about them, but they soon will if you haven't. So they're integrated directly with the Solana Foundation. So they got a grant from them, and they've built technology where they can add a layer of trust and basically verify identification in a decentralized way. So, this question of how do we vet projects obviously has been top of mind. And Solana ID is the absolute perfect solution, because there's a lot of meme coin project founders that are good actors that just don't want to dox themselves because of privacy reasons. And I completely understand that. But if we utilize a platform like Solana ID as part of that onboarding process, they can verify identities, and we can add a layer of verification to this entire process. So, it's something that they're going to be building out custom for us. And just to give you an example on how it works. So, you can, for example, say, all right, if you want to join MemeTrust, you connect with Solana ID and you have to verify Web2 properties. So, for example, you have to verify your X account, and your X account has to be, a certain age with a certain amount of followers. You have to verify an email account. You have to connect to your LinkedIn. And, we don't have that fully set up yet, but it's all about how can we verify without having to reveal identities. Now, one thing that's always important to note is we can do everything that we possibly can to vet a project. And it's inevitable. There's going to be some project that just gives up and their chart dumps. So, there's no way to prevent that. And we can never give 100% certainty that if you join MemeTrust, they're trusted. But at the very least, we're doing the best that the market has seen to have some sort of set process and system for verification. And that's going to be the start of MemeTrust. And obviously, we'll do our own initial analysis before ever reaching out to a project, because it is invite only. So we do the analysis on all the projects that currently exist that we feel are a good fit. They have to meet specific criteria. We invite them. If they accept the invite, which I believe most will, then they go through the Solana ID verification process. So hopefully that gives you some more insights there without too much information.
No, man, I think that was the perfect amount of information. I think at the end of the day, it's very admirable what you're doing right now to essentially try and help out investors, to try and, stop them from making mistakes and stop them from getting wrecked on the charts. Because, like you said, it's, right now we're sitting on a fear and greed index of I think it's 37. And you're seeing less and less people jump in on Coinbase. They're outside of the top 500 for app store downloads, and typically those are bearish signs where you're starting to really see capitulation in the market. And I think especially over the last 6 months, where we've seen Bitcoin essentially trade sideways, and we've seen so many different meme coins losing upwards of 60, 70, 80% off the top of their overall price. I think there's a lot of people that are out there right now saying that are capitulating and essentially leaving the crypto market. And they're leaving the crypto market right before, the real expansion is going to happen and stuff. And obviously they're doing it because they're getting scammed by a lot of different projects. So I think there's very few projects out there that have been operating like you and I for upwards of 5 to 6 months at a time and ultimately truly working on their project. And I think that ultimately those projects, especially in the world of how much scam liquidity and scam projects that we see that end up being pump and dumps, I think in the context of that we truly will start to attract some amazing investors back into our project as, people that are at the forefront of really trying to push a project and push the meme and, ultimately, try and support the project instead of saying, hey, we're going to billions and, million, $100 million is FUD and this, that, and the other. I just think it's really admirable what you're doing with MemeTrust to try and create that clarity and that safety net for the people that are in the crypto space, considering how much it's not regulated and how much it really can be at times, essentially be a gambling pit. So kudos to you and hats off to you with MemeTrust. And I really appreciate what you guys are doing there.
Yeah. Appreciate all the kind words there. And, if you like, I'm more than happy to just share my screen and kind of walk through what the phased approach is going to look like here. Just that
would be really cool.
Okay, cool. And this is some alpha of sorts. We've never really shared a live screen share of the platform that we're building. I'm happy to just give an overview of it today. So let's see here, present.
Yeah, I think this will be amazing. You might even attract some good developers with good ideas that might help the growth of this platform. That would be cool too.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Let's see. One sec. All right. If you can just let me know when you see my screen here. You see my screen?
Nope, not yet.
Not yet. Maybe it takes a moment.
Present share screen. Is that working for you?
Yeah, it says StreamYard is sharing your screen right now.
I am not seeing it.
Let's see. Maybe I try again. Present, share screen, entire screen. Anything now?
Nope, I'm not seeing it. Let me try and refresh maybe on my other one here and see if potentially that works. I'm not seeing it, and I do apologize. I guess I think I've shared my screen before and I've ended up having it work. Maybe. Oh, there we go. Wait, is that?
Yeah, I mean, I see. I think that's. I'm not sure.
Yours?
I think. Let's see. That looks like mine. That's mine.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. So we've got your screen. We've got the endless box of doom going here. So
yeah.
Show us what you got.
Can you see this better?
Yes. I'm all in.
Okay. All right. So I just want to talk about the phased approach. Like, what's our strategy for launch? So, when we talk about MemeTrust, like I think right now, when we talk about it just generally, there can be some confusion on, are you helping investors? Is it for memecoin project founders? Really, what's the target here? The answer to that is there's many targets, but we have to do it very strategically. So the way that we look at building the onboarding process and the amount of users that come to MemeTrust, we're going to be doing it in a phased approach. So currently, right now, with all of the marketing materials that are coming out, we're going to be doing an explainer video that's going to be very high quality. It's going to be targeted towards phase 1, which is onboarding existing memecoin projects. We feel like that's the low-hanging fruit. There's a lot of memecoin projects that can really benefit from what we're building in MemeTrust. So phase 1, use case number 1, is getting memecoin project founders on board. And then if you just go to our Medium here, you can see, I won't spend time going through this is really all the benefits of joining MemeTrust for each specific target market. So we know that, and this is some alpha that I don't think we've shared publicly, MemeTrust is going to be built off a freemium model. So what that means is that it's going to be completely free for anyone to join, and we're going to have Oh, it's going to happen.
Okay. Oh, hearing a little bit of echo on your end.
I'm not sure why. I'm hearing it on your end as well. I don't know if it's near you. I didn't change anything. I don't know.
Nope, I think we're good. Wait. It was my fault. Sorry.
No worries.
All right, continue on.
Okay, so MemeTrust, right? So the phase 1 is going to be getting the memecoin projects on board. I think very quickly we can get at least 100, say, projects to join MemeTrust. And what I was saying is that it's based off a freemium model. So it's going to be completely free to join. And then we're going to have optional, basically packages that you can utilize that have different just value adds and benefits of joining. And that will be released here in the near future. Now, when you think about like what MemeTrust is doing here with vetting the projects, getting the trusted projects on board, one thing that we really are focusing on for MemeTrust members that are project founders, that are devs, is the ability to log into MemeTrust and see also a vetted list of all the reputable service providers in the space that do good work in their specific fields. So we're talking about animators, we're talking about developers, we're talking about artists, KOLs, market makers, exchange lists.
Yeah, I really love that concept too, because honestly, I feel like, especially in the Telegram, like you get reached out to every single day by somebody in the Telegram, like, hey, I'm a marketing person, I'm an exchange, I'm a certified artist that'll give you some good work, and And honestly, like, it just feels like you can't trust any of them.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's a huge problem. There's no like curated list or one-stop shop for trusted projects to go to find that list of trusted service providers. And of course, if you're launching a project and you want to grow it, you can't do it alone. You have to partner or work with the right people. So, and I'll show you here the platform in a second to see how that's going to look.
Right.
But
in that context, Doug has 2 developers that have been here since the start. We've got 2 artists that we had one artist from the start that was responsible for the original artistry, and we ended up getting a second artist on staff. We have 2 marketing members on our team, and then, of course, I act as speaker for the project. So, I mean, like you said, like these projects, they take a lot of different team members working towards the common goals of the project. And I wanted to ask you, like, how many people do you have working on Lab right now?
Yeah, great question. So we have, and this is something that is probably the at least what I'm proudest of what we've built over time is a community of gigabrains. Shout out to all the gigabrains listening. So we have a core group of admins that have been really collectively building MemeTrust together. And that's so bullish to me because it's not like I have like my IRL meme network like sitting next to me. It's all a decentralized process of several of our core community members coming together and building this. And a lot of them are very high level professionals that are spending a lot of time into helping support the growth of that. So, I mean, if you were to put a number to it, I would say there's probably 10 to 15 scientists, gigabrain scientists internally that are actively working on building MemeTrust together.
Awesome, man. That's awesome. Yeah, it's amazing to have that many people working. How do you manage the organization of that? Have you ran businesses in your personal life before that it makes it easier to run a project of that magnitude?
Yeah, I mean, it all starts with the team. There's several team members where their skill sets are either like in project management or they just have, internal structures that they've built where they can, then delegate out certain tasks and projects and make sure that it's all, integrated into just an overall document. Like, for example, Google Docs and Google Drive, like everything's highly organized there. I do run a successful agency myself for over 10 years now, so I do have the experience in obviously building teams, working with teams, leading teams. But what I always look for is finding people with skill sets that complement my own, and we thankfully have really every skill set that's needed. To keep things organized and also delegate tasks to the right people. And again, shout out to the team because they're the ones largely leading that effort currently. So.
That's beautiful, man. Well, I really do appreciate seeing everything with the project and you giving us a little bit of a behind the scenes look at this overall MemeTrust project. When do you think you're officially going to go live and really expand the project? And ultimately, how do you think you're going to continue to get the word out about this project so that way you can look to try and protect as many investors as possible?
Yeah, for sure. So I think realistically, of course, with time frames, there's a lot that can happen. So I never want to put a set date on anything. I think realistically, 30 to 60 days, somewhere within there, probably closer to the 30 to 45 day mark from where we're at right now. Because you'll see, like the platform, like it's not fully there, but there's the framework is there, to complete it relatively quickly. So that's the timeline in terms of the onboarding. So one thing that we're really excited about launching here in the near future is an ambassador program for other meme coin projects that want to be part of MemeTrust, that love what the concept that we're building is, and also want to benefit from promoting us as well. Like there's a lot of meme coin projects that I've spoken with where they just want to support us, like without compensation, just because they love with what we're building. But as part of the ambassador program, we are going to have like a reward system there. So if you promote our project, you will then go ahead and like you'll have like a referral link that you can promote. We can track all the referrals, all the new signups that we get from the ambassadors, and I think it could really scale out much quicker that way than if we didn't have that ambassador program. In addition to that, for the past, I believe we're on episode 10, possibly 11, of a space that I've personally been running called How They Built It every single Friday. So it's actually right after this, where we have typically, I would say on average, 4 to 5 projects that we believe are trusted to basically talk about, how they actually, what's the story behind building their project, and also get some insights into what has worked best from a marketing and growth standpoint. So really getting a behind the scenes look. And through that, we've built up our own network of projects. We probably have 50 or 60 of them, that we can quickly reach out to and say, hey, you want to join? Do you want to be part of the ambassador program? So we've been strategically building up, just our own network in order to then scale essentially the onboarding process of MemeTrust.
Well, you hear it time and time again, man. Your network is your net worth. Your boy, Dr. DeFi, used to say this to me all the time, and a part of me almost wonders if that mantra came from you.
No, he says that to me all the time. It didn't come from me. But yeah, no, I completely agree with that. And then just to wrap up this section here, and then I'll dive into the platform a little bit. So once we get, strategically, we get, call it, 100 plus meme coin project that join MemeTrust. The value for a service provider, getting into the problem that service providers have, say like you're a bot, like you have like a volume bot, or you have so many different bots these days. One of their biggest problems is they don't have visibility. Really, the only way that you can sometimes hear about bots is through word of mouth, which in this space can only go so far. It's really based off your network. So the struggle they have, the goal here is to have as many projects as possible that join, that adds an immense amount of value for service providers to join the platform that are trusted. So we do the same type of vetting process for the service providers. There will be different options that they can choose to join. One of them is going to be free. And then the service providers get what they've always been lacking, and that is direct visibility and connections with trusted projects that likely have some type of budget to invest in services to grow. So the larger the network becomes, the more meme coin projects that join, the more value we have for service providers. So it's a beautiful symbiotic relationship that we're building here, where we bring in the trusted projects, we then bring in the trusted service providers, and the service providers get the visibility in order to grow their own utility, whatever they're offering. And a lot of the service providers that are going to join the platform, it's going to be curated from the projects that join us. So as part of the onboarding process, we're going to have basically like an application form. As part of the application form, there's going to be a section asking them for what service providers they've worked with that they had a great experience with. So it's not just us saying that these service providers are great. It's crowdsourcing all the knowledge from across all these meme coin projects that have probably gotten screwed over a ton of times, but there's always those gems of either KOLs or some type of bot they work with that was very valuable. So it's not you take our word that these are trusted projects. We're taking the community's word that these are trusted projects, and of course we'll have our own vetting on top of that. But it's going to be this curated model of the service provider. So that's going to be phase 2. And then phase 3 is just the meme coin investors. I think this is actually the largest market because of all the issues that we discussed earlier. You have no idea who to trust, what projects are legitimate, and we can provide a list based off every dev, every project that has joined MemeTrust of who has gone through our verification process and why we think they're trusted essentially. So the meme coin investors are going to then have access to a list of all the trusted projects. And then this is longer down the road, but aspiring meme coin project founders. And then I think I missed one here. Where is it? Oh yeah, and decentralized exchanges. So imagine you're on a decentralized exchange. Imagine that next to the token of a project that's part of a decentralized exchange, there's now a badge that says MemeTrust with what that actually means. We've been in contact with the decentralized exchange that actually wants to integrate with MemeTrust because these DEXs, they really they don't want people to get scammed. There's been like Jupe has like a trusted list, for example, where you get like a check mark. So same type of concept, but scaling it out in a different type of way that's never been done before. So yeah, that's just a very, very high level overview on, the different phases and the target markets that we're looking at for MemeTrust. And at some point, ask me the question, because it's really important. How is this all going to integrate with Lab? Because there is a direct integration that is quite significant.
Absolutely amazing, man. And, I know you have your weekly Friday spaces, which have really been getting an amazing turnout. We were featured here on this last week, so we were really excited to be a part of that space and just be a part of your overall spaces. And I thought it was really amazing. Some of the projects that you had there on the space were super, super impressive. What's your average count that you usually get on those Friday spaces?
Yeah, we're averaging, I would say 1,000 to 2,000 listeners when all is said and done, when you look at the metrics.
Yeah, I mean, that's impressive.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been great. And I think just like you're doing now, it gives much deeper insights than just like, oh, let me join a shill space and just hear everyone talk about how great their project is. Like, it's giving deeper insights into like really what a meme coin project founder goes through when they're growing a project, and also valuable insights for other project founders where, you might hear some marketing initiative that has worked really well that you can then integrate into your own project. So it's all about providing value for both investors and the meme coin project founders themselves.
Well, that's amazing, man. Well, we are closing in on some of the last little parts of here for the space. So, and we usually kind of cap this off with a little bit of like what Doug's got going right now, and then usually get some feedback from our speaker about, how we're doing and what you think we could kind of do them better. So is there anything you want to finish speaking about, and finish off with regard to the lab project?
Yeah. I'll just wrap it up. First things first, just to go over, just take a couple minutes to see like what the actual platform looks like. So this is going to be a platform you can actually log into. There also is an iOS and Android app that we can integrate with in the future. So one thing that we haven't touched on yet, and this is just like a live look at the dashboard right now. So, when you join MemeTrust, like one of the biggest things that a project's looking for is collaborations and partnerships. But you ask yourself, well, can I trust to partner with that person? And you're kind of just like going on a hope and prayer that, they're a good project to partner with. And these are all just sample members right now. But imagine we have thousands of members here, and you just say sort by the newest members. With one click of these members, you can now start a chat with them about collaborating. And of course, you can take this conversation to TG. We're looking to do some TG integration as well. But it really fixes one of the biggest problems of like knowing who is open to collaboration and also who is trusted to collaborate with. So this will solve that problem by going through the members list. So we're going to be able to do live events, directly within the platform, or we can likely do streaming as well, similar to what you're doing. And then this is where you start getting into the meat and potatoes of just the value that we're going to be providing. So, one thing that we're looking to crowdsource and build over time is dev guides and resources. So, for example, how to manage FUD, how to rate effectively, a lot of things that you might think as a project founder, but you can certainly, educate yourself to see what else you could be doing better. So this is going to be an ongoing process of just building out the most needed, call it resources and education for meme coin project founders. And then we're going to integrate this into like Web2 type content for lead generation purposes down the road. So you can see how this can be, very valuable over time. This is going to be the trusted service provider section. So if you go here, you're going to have a list dependent on what your needs are of all the different, this is just a breakdown of the key service providers that are most needed right now. So you can see how, this is when you click on each one of these, you're going to have a list of all the vetted and curated projects or services that are a good fit for MemeTrust. So I think that's going to be a really cool way for people to now get access to these service providers that actually do a great job at what they say they do, and obviously significantly mitigating the risk of getting scammed. I just don't see that happening with a platform like this and the way that our vetting process is going to look. So I think this is extremely powerful for any project founder. I'm sure any meme coin project founder that sees this, they're like, hell yeah, let's freaking go. We need that in the space. So we're building it. We also have this blacklist section. So obviously we have to tread carefully. We don't want to disparage or defame anybody. But there's going to be project founders that have experienced straight up scams, or they worked with a KOL that dumped all their supply after they said they wouldn't. There's never been a place in the ecosystem to report that. So the scammers can basically, continue with impunity, with no, because there's not enough, there's not a centralized source to say, hey, this person really fucking sucks. Don't work with them because they're going to screw you over. This is the place where we're going to have the blacklists. And it's not like you could just post anybody on there. There's going to be a very detailed process for submitting someone to the blacklist. And then we're going to give the person that's that's being requested to be added to the blacklist to share their side of the story. So taking a balanced approach, we just don't want to blast people. We want to make it, call it more scientific, where we're gathering that information. And then the mastermind, I'm really excited about this. So one of the biggest problems in this space is like PvP, of course, where you can't really ask questions to like people that really know what they're talking about. Yeah, we have like our TGs here and there, but imagine we did this with thousands or hundreds of meme coin project founders, where if you have a question, if you have a problem, we all just collaborate here to answer those questions or to provide the resources that we know are needed. And this is also an opportunity to get feedback from the community through like the live chat functionality. And then we're going to have different chats based off just different tiers that you're going to be joining on. So that's very high level. Very last thing, we're working with Hello Moon. Hello Moon, they've been an amazing partner to work with. We actually have one of their team members now integrated in one of our chats that's going to be helping support just call it the onboarding of overall onboarding and just call it launch of MemeTrust. So, I won't get into all the details of the website, but this is just a draft this live right now. We're going to have the list of projects on here as well, that you can see all the trusted projects on the page. Now, very last thing is the direct integration into Lab, which people are probably most interested about. I'm going to just stop sharing my screen here just to make sure. Do I have like 2 to 3 more minutes?
Sure.
Okay, sweet. So Lab, just like we started, Lab is all about experimentation on what works and what doesn't. The way that you can look at MemeTrust, it's our biggest experiment to date. Now, it's an experiment that's basically turned into a utility and a product at the end of the day. We are going to have a direct integration with the Lab token. So if you want to get exposure to what we're building here in MemeTrust and ride the success of MemeTrust as we continue to grow, Lab token is the way to do that. So there's going to be a tiered model where the more Lab token you hold, the more benefit that you get from the growth of MemeTrust. And we also are going to have a direct integration with project founders that pay for MemeTrust. They are going to directly benefit from the growth of MemeTrust as well. And when I say benefit, I mean financially benefit. I can't get into the exact details of that, but right now the goal here is, I think this can be an incredibly successful business. First and foremost, a decentralized business, call it, built off the backs of our gigabrain scientists. With that, say we're a multi-million-dollar business within several years. Everybody that's part of the Lab, the people that own most Lab, the people that have paid for MemeTrust, they are going to benefit most from our growth. So this is top of mind. It's not this is a side project and we're just building MemeTrust just because it's going to be successful as its own solo entity. The whole point here is we want to build MemeTrust to directly benefit our Lab holders. This was the reason we built this. All of that will come out here in the near future, but I really appreciate everybody for listening today. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us, join our TG. We're an open book here. And thank you, Easy Zabo, for the opportunity to share, insights into what we're building here.
Well, I truly enjoyed having you out here because honestly, your project and what you're building at MemeTrust really emulates almost something similar to what we have in America called the Better Business Bureau.
Yes.
You have this opportunity in this database to be able to try and avoid scammers and then also find connections for good projects. So kudos to you. And in reading some of the comments here in the space, I can just tell that there's a lot of people that really appreciate what you're doing, and we hope that you continue to have success in bringing this to an overall market. And then, of course, with the amount of speakers and listeners that you're getting on Friday Spaces, and hopefully continued outreach, hopefully this is something that makes waves through the crypto community and really helps projects grow in finding good people to work on their projects. So just wanted to say I really appreciated having you here today and stuff, and yeah, man, I really appreciate the project, and I hope that we can be a part of it as well.
Oh, man, absolutely. I cannot wait to get Doug the Duck on board. And yeah, man, can't wait for you guys to now dive into, what you have cooking over there and just hear what the latest is.
Sure, man. Yeah, so, I mean, Doug the Duck has got a lot of really great things going right now. For us, this Pondcast, something that we're doing new, is really our way to connect with more projects and connect with more communities. And really just kind of continue to put our name out there. And obviously we're streaming to a lot of our different social medias here today. We've got people from YouTube, we've got people from X, we've got people from, Instagram that are making comments here today. We've got people from Twitch that are making comments. I think we've got well over 100 comments almost in the space here today talking about the overall project. And really that's what we're looking to do at Doug the Duck is, we're really creating a brand, when honestly a brand or a meme doesn't just stick out on X anymore, considering all the congestion you have and of course all the pump and dumps that MemeTrust is trying to steer people away from. Ultimately, we have currently, it's been our initiative to jump onto all these different social medias, especially YouTube, because we understand that like last cycle, the way all of these projects ran was through YouTube, and we think that paradigm is actually going to come back this time around. So we've really been focusing, and we post this here on YouTube as well. We have actually we've got a comic book series that we do on a weekly basis, and that comic book series is a testament to the amazing artistry that we have on this project. Every 2 weeks, we post a new comic book series, and the comic book series is really building the brand around Doug the Duck, which is really our goal, is to build a brand around this degenerate duck that essentially was left behind at the ponds by all of the other memes as part of this overall cycle. And ultimately, our initiative is essentially to go around beating up all of these memes and bringing them back to the pond to be friends with us again after they left us behind. So the comic book series, it kind of emulates that, and Doug the Duck is kind of like the anti-meme, the anti-Matt Fury meme, considering we're beating up all of these memes to essentially create new friendships again. So these comic book series have absolutely taken off. People absolutely love them, and we accompany them with a video as well, and we post those videos on YouTube, and a lot of those videos have well over 200,000 views, and that's garnered us almost close to 40,000 subscribers. I think I'd have to look exactly what the number is, because the number goes up every single day. For Doug the Duck, we literally have 37.5 thousand subscribers. And of course, we've got our TikTok account, which has over 45,000 followers. Our Instagram has over 25,000 followers. We've got over almost close to 5,500 people on Twitter and 7,000 people in the Telegram. And of course, all of this is completely organic. We're a legit project. We don't pay for this stuff. We've got the original devs, the original artists, the original marketing team. And ultimately, we work really hard essentially for our project to continue to build this brand. And we have a huge focus on video content. We're constantly putting out comedic videos every single day out on Twitter, and we know that that's getting pushed into a lot of different people's feeds. We've created a business model around this project, and actually we're able to attain the coveted yellow gold check mark on Twitter And now that we've gotten that check mark, we have really started to expand fast. We were trading around this $1.1 million market cap for a large extended period of time. And even since this last space that we had last week, we have gone up almost 150% and are now sitting at a market cap of right around $2.4 million. So we've been having some great, amazing growth since the start of this Pondcast series. And we ultimately know that Doug the Duck is a hidden gem. A lot of people in the crypto space, some of the biggest KOLs can basically kind of compared us to Ponke level artistry. And we understand that, we've seen a lot of turnover of coin. Our volume levels have been dramatically increasing. And honestly, we're just a few couple, viral memes away from essentially sending this project into absolute oblivion, man. So Doug the Duck has got a lot of different things going for it right now. And, we absolutely love doing these podcasts with people like you because, they've really started to take off in the space. And, some of these have been basically getting upwards of 300 or 400 live viewers at a time through all of our different outlets. So it's just been absolutely amazing doing these Pondcast spaces. And, that's really what Doug the Duck has got going. And of course, I don't know if, maybe Doug the Duck, the first time you saw us is when we were hosted on your Friday space. But, all things considering, man, as we look to sign off here today, would love to kind of hear your opinion about Doug and maybe you've got some advice for us as we continue to grow in the marketplace.
Yeah, man, I love what you guys are doing. Like I started, just like the innovative approach that you're taking, like the comic book series, and obviously doing this using StreamYard for the distribution of this content. I think you're leading the charge on really content distribution. And at the end of the day, like if you look at, and I think Ponke is a great example because I feel like they were the first to really get noticed for the quality of content that they were putting out. I feel like you guys are truly following in their footsteps, but then taking it a step further. And I think that's what you have to do to, stand out and just continually innovate. I feel like Doug the Duck really aligns with the lab in the sense that, it's a constant evolution of how can we do things better, and you will never be static. You will continue to evolve with your audience, with the marketplace. And to me, like for any project, like that's incredibly bullish. So in terms of like advice, keep doing what you're doing, man. Like I think you guys are definitely on the right path. And we also have to think like what's going to happen here in the next couple of months, hopefully like whenever the call it, peak bull run is, or when we really start ramping that up. I think it's going to be the projects that are really standing out in the space specifically to quote unquote normies, like in the Web 2 world that might be looking on YouTube, say for memecoin projects, or to hear, other memecoin project founders speak that, are quality projects. I think Doug the Duck is really well positioned to be one of the leaders for the normie onboarding. And we're certainly trying to do the same. So shout out to you guys.
Awesome, man. Well, I really appreciate the flowers and everything. And we're closing in on an hour here, so we're going to look to wind down the space. Considering looking at our charts, man, you guys are up almost close to 75% just in the last, couple days. If you were buying the lab in the last week, you're up almost 50% on your investment. If you were buying Doug the Duck a week ago, you're up almost 100 to 150% on your investment. So kudos to you if you're investing in either of these two projects. Obviously, we see ourselves as very legitimate players working on our projects, and we're not going anywhere. So if you were somebody who was buying last week, I absolutely say congratulations to you. And with that, we're going to end off with a nice, beautiful song for our investors to get excited about, because we just appreciate you so much. So, Bator, let's cue the music.
Take out that old bottle of champagne, find a reason to celebrate right now. Roll out that red carpet, get up, baby. Walk it like you ain't never been knocked down. Yeah. Rain on my parade, go ahead, throw me off my game. Holding that trophy above me in the stadium full of empty seats. Little lady, but over here, sailing down your lights. To the faith and in the mirror saying congratulations. I'ma tell the world to do a celebration. You don't wanna say it to me, I'ma say it to myself. Congratulations.
It's been a long time and a long line. Coming up was a long climb. Skating by like a long grind. And you did it all with a flat tire. You pulled through. Go you. This call for a good move. Straw drink and a couple brews. Class A as a whole, make it two. Feel like I got paid. Sunny sky, no rain. Breaking bad like I'm Cranston. Throwing fits in the sand. So
Little late, but I'm here saying congratulations. No, don't wait in the mirror saying congratulations. I'ma tell the world to do a celebration. You don't wanna say it to me, I'ma say it to myself. All the time you've been low, but you can't do it up. Had to make it on your own, so you made your own luck. Missed that off-ramp to that glory road. Got turned around, but I can hear him saying it now. Little late, but I'm here saying congratulations. No, don't sit in the mirror saying congratulations. I'ma tell the world to do a celebration. You don't wanna say it to me, I'ma say it to myself. Congratulations.
Hey, are you ready for our bullish talk show? We got guests for days, off 2 in a row. The biggest names in the DeFi space. Black, white and yellow, guests from every race. So hands off your dick, snap your real look. We're talking crypto daily with a big photo. Big duck energy, let's make fast fast. Come chill with us here on the Pondcast.